Just wanted to make a quick video about my first BFL and my co-angler experience. I'm going to kind of give you a rundown of a step-by-step. Basically signed up for the BFL on Lake Norman end of February, and kind of a Valentine's Day gift from my wife, which was awesome. First thing that's going to happen is there's going to be you go on the FLW or the MLF site, I guess RIP FLW, pay your $100, sign up for the lake you want. My tournament was on a Sunday, so there was a Saturday night meeting. Usually if it's on a Saturday, there's a Friday night meeting. It's a Zoom meeting, so which is nice. You just hop on the Zoom meeting, and they kind of break down some rules, and pretty much about 20 minutes, 30 minutes after that meeting, I was supposed to get a text apparently of who my boater is. I never got the text, but my boater called me, and we kind of discussed what we're going to do as far as where to meet, what time, if he needs help with the boat, putting it in. Is it okay if I bring dip and glow or dip and die? I told him how many rods I plan on bringing, which was 5, which I needed them because I broke one rod running down the lake to our first spot. And just kind of went through the day of how we're going to be fishing shallow, deep. And so he told me that so I could rig up what I needed to go from there. I did have mostly, I think I had 3 spinning rods and 2 bait casters, but in all honesty, I used pretty much spinning gear. So we showed up to our meeting spot, which was a gas station a couple miles from the boat ramp, because there's like 193 boats in this BFL, and they were wanting co-anglers to park somewhere else and jump in the truck with their boater. So I met him there. I met my boater at the gas station. He was filling up with fuel, and he said, well, the co-anglers, there's a big grassy area down there, you could probably find a spot. Thought, well, okay. Ended up parking on the grass because I wasn't sure exactly how this was going to go, but it was quite a cluster. There was a lot of people. We sat on 150, Highway 150, going into Pinnacle Boat Ramp for 25 to 30 minutes. And basically the parking issue wasn't necessarily with the co-anglers, because I just jumped in on a grassy spot somewhere towards the entrance of the boat ramp. Boat trailers parked out towards 150 on the grassy area, so that was kind of the issue there, not so much the co-angler parking. But I put all my stuff in his boat when I met him at the gas station before I headed to the boat ramp. And I noticed right away, going from a boater, and I've never even fished a boater in a BFL, but typically I'm always on the front of my boat deck, and learning where, obviously I know where the rods go, but the different configuration, trying to fit all the rods in to his rod holders for the co-angler. It's just a new experience as a co-angler from being a boater, where I'm used to having everything I need. So the other thing, my bag that I pretty much dropped everything into was too tall for the back compartment he had for me, so I just had it up by my feet all day. No big deal. I had 5 rods. Like I said, I broke one, but I really only used basically 2 all day. And I think that was the big thing for me. Was I moved here several years ago. I haven't fished Norman much, but now that me and my wife are into tournament fishing more, I really wanted to learn Norman more. And that's how I kind of went into the day, was I want to learn this lake better and hopefully jump in the boat with somebody who knows the lake real good. And I did. The guy I was with was awesome. Launched the boat, I gave him gas money. I gave him $60. I basically did that because Norman's a really big lake. And so I figured he'd be burning quite a bit of fuel. I hear, you know, the standard is $40, but I just figured $60 would be fine. So he was happy with that. And first stop, you know, I kind of debated, like, do I want to just tell him, I'll get my fish, you get your fish? I mean, I would be absolutely gutted and devastated if I lost a big fish netting. I know how to net. I've netted my whole life, but I just didn't know if I wanted to be responsible. But at the first stop, we got to our first spot, and he was like, you know, you net mine, I'll net yours. We're going to net every fish to be safe. And I was just like, okay, you know, we'll do it. And it went fine. But that was one of those things I wrestled in my mind for a while, how I wanted that to go down. Ended up having a great day. Learned a lot. My boater was, you know, for a while, I watched a lot of podcasts and a lot of videos about co-angling, and everybody kept saying, well, you know, you will get your opportunity. And basically that is what happened. Like, I was just in the back of the boat, just kind of learning the spots and where he was fishing, what we were doing. I was learning spots, what he wanted to, what he was doing, and learn, you know, basically he flipped the boat. He was catching fish, and I don't even know if I had a bite, but I kept hearing about, you know, you'll get your opportunity, you'll get your opportunity. Well, he was catching fish off these boat ramps. Lake Norman has a lot of like private boat ramps, and he had flipped the boat around, and there I was right at the boat ramp, and just chucked it behind the boat and caught a 4-pound spotted bass. Put me in 19th place, which was awesome, and got me a $439 check. I could have got discouraged, but I think if you go into them realizing I'm not fishing against my boater, and he was super cool. I tried to be very respectful. The big thing was fishing, when we were fishing like a dock, and we would come up to it, and he would flip, and I tried to do, you know, the imaginary line between the console and the back of the boat. You know, I'm good with that 180 back there, and he's got this 180. But like as we were going, you know, if he pitched to the front of the dock, and the back of the back post was still in front of the console, you know, I'd ask him, hey, is that cool if I pitch in there? It's like, yeah, I'm done with it. You're good. And I think as the day progressed, he got more comfortable. He saw I wasn't gonna do anything stupid to mess up his day. And towards the end of the day, he was just like, you know, throw up in there in that brush pile I'm throwing to. And so that was cool. Had a great experience. At the end of the day, I went and got his truck, backed it in. He put it on the boat. I parked it. He went and got bags. And while I parked his truck, he actually hopped out because we drove by the weigh-in. He got bags for our fish, and then we bagged them and weighed in, and still text him once in a while to this day. So overall, it was a good experience. I think I could see how it could go awry if the co-angler is thinking, you know, I'm here to win, which we're all competitive. We don't enter tournaments to lose, but at the same time, you got to understand the place in the back of the boat is time to learn, time to fish the opportunities that are, you know, given to you, and kind of fish your own water. And that's what helped me that day was, you know, he kind of spun the boat around. I had that one shot, and luckily, you know, a nice fish bit. But yeah, I mean, if you can do it, I'd do it at least once just to check it out. Like I said, when you get into somebody else's boat and you're used to being up at the front, it's hard not to like jump out of the passenger seat and run up to the front. I was like, oh, kind of back here for a little while. And you got to be, another thing we talked about was, you know, when you get ready to move, just give me a heads up because I don't want to hold you up. And so I think that helped him too, where he's not waiting on me. He'd be like, one more cast, I'm moving. So I'd, reel in, get my life jacket on, sit down, strap everything in, and that way when he was done, we were ready to roll. Just those little things I think help. Not that I'm a co-angling, but that was just stuff I tried to do, from taking things from where I'm usually at the front of the boat, what I would appreciate from somebody from the back of the boat. And hopefully that helps you. And yeah, until next time, have a good one.